I don't know why, but you are watching the Madness Comic Network. Are you mental?
Who am I, you ask? I was created in
It's Flip City Magazine, The Parodies, Special Edition, with savage send-ups of The Walking Dead, Star Trek Picard, Stranger Things, The Mandalorian, Guardians of the Galaxy, and more from the first 4 years of Flip City. Get Flip City The Parodies free when you subscribe in print at flipcitymag.com. The world's best satire magazine, and never, ever woke.
Hey, everybody, Dirk Manning here, the writer and creator of numerous comic books and graphic novels, including Nightmare World, Tales of Mystery, Made But Not Dead, all kinds of stuff. And I am super excited for you because you are getting to watch right now, right this moment, out of all the things we're really going to be doing, you're getting to enjoy and revel in the Madness Comic Network. And that is awesome. Thank you for being here.
Whew.
Look at that beautiful art. Look at that. Just look at it. Look at it.
Sure, some stroke-addled numbnut fucking knocked that shit out. Oh, how y'all doing today? It's another happy Wednesday. And by happy Wednesday, I mean another day that there's rain and I can't go deer hunting, and I've got a sniffle. So I'm gonna be sniffing and sneezing all the way through this today. But other than that, let's see if I can move this thing down a little bit. So
I mean, in reality, we've had it all. We've had people on here drunk. We've had people, it's nothing new for people to have momentary, voice issues. Shit.
Oof.
I was out here the other day and everything I said went with a
big damn sniffles. There we go. Let's see if I can swing this thing around.
Good morning, Glenn. What's up, brother?
All right. Howdy, Mr. Glenn. Let's see who's in the comments here today. Glenn Fleming. Pops, get to it. All right. So today is going to be kind of a strip down day because my usual co-host, Mr. Charlie, is on his way physically down to my place from Chicago, which is about a 6-hour drive. And God, I have been buried for days under work and, well, pretty much just work. I've got a gallery show coming up this Thursday. And the Paducah School of Art and Design here in Paducah, Kentucky, just the other side of the river from Illinois, has given me the run of their big gallery for an entire month starting Thursday. So Thursday night we'll have the reception and things there, and it's been you'd think that it's just a matter of show up, bring your stuff, and hang it, but it's not. There's a lot more to put together and show together than that, and this is the first one I've ever done. So, it's been hectic. But literally 5 minutes before getting on here, I got the email that everything is set. There's nothing else I need from me. Everything's a go. So there's that. Thank God.
So hopefully in one of the next couple of shows, we'll take a look at said gallery, and that'll be awesome.
Yeah, I am thinking I'm going to try to do the show one day from the gallery, just because that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
And you guys get to see a lot of pretty nifty stuff in there.
I'm really kind of looking forward to that, to tell you the truth. I do not know why YouTube or Facebook is being stupid, but
yeah,
it's not.
Facebook is
it's not showing stream or something. I don't know. Not connected.
Yeah.
You're blowing it.
That is definitely not something I know anything about taking care of. But what I do know about,
it's like everywhere. It's weird. Like,
but what I do know is I'm gonna pop in here today, and as soon as I finish sneezing, I feel it coming. Oh God.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this link real quick and drop it over there on my Facebook page because you can't see it live over there for some reason. So here's the link, people. I guess you're watching today on YouTube with the rest of everybody.
So I am, I'm thinking today I'm going to touch on a subject that is not exactly the sexiest of subjects for an hour, but I'm going to show a few different ways to draw rubble.
A what?
Rubble.
Rubble? You're going to draw some rubble?
Yeah, like destroyed ruins type stuff, or buildings destroyed, or just general destruction.
But first I thought you meant Barney, but then
No.
See, I was just talking about something like that the other day. We were talking about our favorite album cover art. And my favorite album cover art is Rush, A Farewell to Kings, with the jester on the throne in the middle of an apocalyptic fucking dystopian background, right? And everything is just rubble and trash piled on up like a junkyard kind of weird shit, right? So I kind of like when people get down and draw rubble.
It's one of those things. It's like there's actually a lot of different approaches you can take to it. And like right here, you see I'm literally just kind of doing these random shapes. Let me delete that and I'll come over here. Let's say just as I find that when I practice things, it's better to have a goal in mind. So I'll think about, oh, well, if I were drawing something from the point of view where I'm looking over some up close rubble out onto a scene far away. So let's say there's like, just put some stuff down that kind of gives me an example here of like, we're looking past, say, the rubble of a stone wall going out into a little grove of trees or whatever. So, there you got like a quick little, very rough thumbnail of, what's off in the distance. So let's start off with adding just some general shapes. I'm going to show one method here of doing this that's very traditional. And I might, I'll start off with like one. This is going to sound weird, I think, but I'll start off with one just general shape of like if I'm doing the rubble from, say, a stone wall, I'll think about what kind of stones they were using. So were they brick? Were they kind of rectangular? And that first shape that I draw kind of defines the style for everything else. So then from there, I might start going in and just throwing down other shapes that are similar to that. And then thinking about like, where would my guy be looking from? Let's say he's looking from right here. And so then that gives me more of a sense of perspective here. Then let's say this wall kind of comes on around and has like some bigger rubble. Okay, there's another kind of a big brick sort of thing right there. And this stuff is actually a lot of fun to draw because you can really kind of just play with the shapes and everything and do a lot of scribbling, which is what I do with this. Is I'll scribble the crap out of it. And then thinking about too the shapes, the size of the shapes. In this, since I'm not using hard perspectives, the size of the shapes that I draw are really what give me that sense of perspective. So I'll kind of vary that stuff. So there you can see, it's going off into the distance a little bit more. And then here it's like this thing kind of laps around. So like if I were to put let's see, here's a shoulder, boom. Then Let's do a hand right in here. So here, you start to get this sense of a scene. And then...
Yeah, see, I brought you a friend to take Child's place today.
Oh, who's on here?
I got Levi to come join you. You stroke buddies can hang out together.
Levi, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Les. How you doing?
Oh, all right. So like here's, say I'm going to continue this on around. So if I use kind of a rounded shape, you start to get the feeling that this maybe is, I don't know, could be a broken down well top, could be, some kind of a structure.
Yeah, it looks like a brick silo or something, the foundation of it or something. Yeah. And
so the thing is, though, is to really just relax as much as you can and let those little scribbly shapes come out. Get all kind of Bob Rossi on it, And then every once in a while, I might add like right over here. Let's say I'm gonna put a little hole through here, and then let's add a couple more here. So then, you start to see pretty quickly what's going on here. Now, for me, when I'm drawing comics, most of the time, this is about how far I'll pencil. I usually don't pencil much tighter than that.
Hello, Mrs. Skeen. I see you over there.
It's funny. You said you were going to send me a link today, and I got busy on Facebook just spacing out, listening to the morning stuff. And my wife, I told her, I'm like, hey, if you get bored at the airport, I might be online with Les and Pops. And she just texted me. She's like, where are you at? I'm like, what? She's like, you're not online with Les and Pops.
Oh, that's awesome. Nice. Hello, Heidi. It's great to see you in the chat. That's cool. It's real cool. I'm gonna have to give her a wrench, bro. Does she know what a wrench is for?
I don't know.
You see the blueprint by somebody's name there, Heidi? That gives them the power to drop links to campaigns and stuff that they're doing, right? And it also gives you the opportunity to, like, whenever if you see us live, even if Levi's not out here, you can pop in the chat and drop the link to his sign-up page. No matter what show we're doing, we encourage people to do that. So I'm gonna give it that love right there, and then you can do it whenever you see us live. Even if Levi ain't paying attention, you can drop in our chat and drop the link to his sign-up page, and we get stuff done. That's how we do it.
All right. So there you can see how far I'm getting just that quick with really just scribbles and keeping in mind the general shape and size and how quick that just builds something up where you can start to see something there. And then like right here where it's all kind of broken and everything, I think I'm gonna go in and just put some jagged lines here to destroy that brick. And then I'll come give myself a couple of quick little swooping guides around that general cylindrical shape there. And then sometimes that's a good way to go, is to give yourself like some guides like that, and then something like that, so that then you've got a loose constraint to work from, as you're just kind of doodling in these shapes.
Levi, do you like to draw rubble?
I love to draw rubble. It is my absolute favorite thing to draw.
I've got like 2 different projects right now that I'm on where it seems like every other panel I'm having to draw a destroyed building or just something blown apart. And so I've come up with all kinds of different neat little ways to do this. And like this is actually way more penciling on rubble than I normally would do. Most of the time, this would look like. Let's see here. Just delete that. Most of the time, if I were working for something like this, here's what it would look like in the pencils. It'd be like swoosh, swoosh, drop, 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 drop. That's about all I'd be there. And I might put a note of rubble. Because I haven't had somebody else ink my work in years. So, really? And if I'm doing my own inks, it's like speed is important. So, I just I've got it down to where I can kind of wing it. Now, I'm in Clip Studio as always, so I've got this brush here called the Rough Pen, and I love this thing because if you watch, when I drop a line here, see how it has this natural touch of a wave to it and some little things, almost the way a worn down crow quill will kind of give little leftovers behind, things like that. And while those are imperfections, I think that it lends a lot more character to your lines. I don't use it for everything, but for something like this, I'll take a brush like that and maybe go up to a larger brush size. And then we'll just come in here and start with this kind of thing. And see, also the way this brush works, when I do a backstroke like that, you can see how it leaves these little jaggies. And I really like that. So then I can just kind of work to that here. Come in here and define some of these stone shapes. Sit here and sniffle my guts out. All right. And then let's come back through with something here. Right here where it's broken is a really good place for this brush. Because as I scribble back and forth with it, I get these jaggy little lines that just kind of lend themselves toward the brokenness of what I'm after. Oh my God, this sniffle is driving me crazy. And it's real easy for me to just completely zone out and while I'm doing something like this, it is oddly relaxing.
That's why I love it.
So even though these lines are super jaggy and kind of dirty, like I can always come back in with a cleaner pen and fix them up if I want to. So I might come in later and clean things up a little bit, adding some stronger hold lines and stuff like that. But initially, I'm just going to come through and rough all this kind of stuff out. And let's come in here. Let that trail off. And one of the things I'm thinking about quite a bit right here to help reinforce perspective is this sense of thickness across this particular stone. And then kind of giving those things some lines that help guide our eye along that sort of surface. Okay, I'll come back in with some white every once in a while and clean a few things up here and there. Now let's come back in here. And the stuff that's more distant is really where this brush is going to be super handy, because I can just kind of come through here and loosely follow that whole line. And then we're going to come in and do kind of the same. I'm going to drop a couple more lines right here. Like that. And then I like to drop my pen down and just kind of go nuts with putting these little lines in. And it's really not much more to say than that. Loosely following the guide of what I had there. Now I'm to reinforce the weight at the bottom of it. I'll start and kind of retrace part of the line and then come up around it sometimes, not all the time. And my hand is moving in intentionally little jerky movements here. So it's actually harder for me to do this while I'm talking. So I might end up going, God damn it. Why is that doing that? Huh. Oh, I accidentally, did I bump my size or did my size just die on me? That's not cool. I need to reset my Wacom driver. So sometimes in the middle of drawing, the drivers from my tablet will kick off, and I need to go into, I'll hit the Windows key and type services, and then this thing pops up that I know is probably going to scare the crap out of most users. I don't know if you guys probably can't see it because I'm not sharing it, but I'll go into my Windows services and look for my Wacom driver and then hit restart. Give it a second. So hopefully this doesn't freak out too much. And that should, there we go. That should bring back my pressure sensitivity. And it did not. That's worrying me. Crap. That really worries me. That's not a good sign. That's really not a good sign. Huh. Let's see here now. Okay, there it is there. So what the hell has happened here in Clip Studio? All right. And just like that, I have to, it's literally the first time on here. That this has happened. Settings.
Crom, get out of Les's computer.
It's always the damn internet trolls.
I'm telling you.
There we go.
I know what it is. It's Crom. He's fucking with you, Les.
Did that fix it? No. Now it's behaving really strange. That is not cool.
Maybe I shouldn't have yelled at him. Now he's really pissed.
I'm actually about to get real freaking irritated here with this damn thing. Let's see here.
Maybe save and reboot real quick or something.
That's normally what I would do. I just don't want to have to do that in the middle of a stream.
Well, we can just show what Levi's drawn for a minute. Do it. We ain't tripping. Oh, Levi's like, I'm not set up, man. He just rolled his eyes at me. You didn't tell me I had to show my art.
I'm prepared.
Save that, and I'm going to close this damn program and restart the program.
Yeah. We're not,
because that's some real garbage right there.
Everybody in the world understands this here internet fucking streaming thing, and it's never perfect for anybody, bro.
That shit aggravates the hell out of me when Clip Studio does that, and it is very rare that it does that.
Yeah, it's all timing. It's all timing. See, Levi's putting his phone up. He's like, I got this. Let's
see here now.
Are you drawing rubble, Levi? Are you with the theme of the game?
There it goes. Now it's back.
Yeah.
All right. Probably got to reshare that.
Yeah, I can't see. So.
There we go. I wonder if the screen share messes with it. I've had sometimes doing screen shares would mess with things.
Well, I mean, if it's on this network, then we know it's Crom because he gets in everybody's shit. There we
go. All right, it's back now.
I still want to see yours, Levi. I didn't make you go through all that for nothing. You're drawing rubble. We want to see. Ouch. Just so everybody knows it's really hard to cough when the top of your esophagus is all sewn up. Oh, just so you know, guys.
That's
fucking hurts.
That definitely put a cramp on your side career as a working girl in Vegas.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you. You've seen Doc's Golem and stuff, right, Les?
I'm on the stream right now.
She runs.
I thought you were in the house watching it.
Tell her we said hi, Les.
Everybody says hi, babe.
Les, have you seen Doc's Golem in his book?
No.
Well, Levi drew it. Did a recreation of one of his covers, sort of. Check this out. Let me see if I can embiggen this for a second. Do you got the comic handy, Levi?
Nice.
I do.
Oh, that's badass, dude.
Yeah, now check out the actual cover that he was recreating.
I like it.
Look at that.
Very cool.
So that's Doc's Golem and Elizabeth Payne, and then that's Levi's version. Wonderful. Good stuff.
Nice.
Thank you.
And look, is that a little bit of rubble on the right?
A little bit. Yeah, I was doing the same thing. I was over here doing some fog in the background stuff.
See, we got some killer artists up in here, people. Ain't no lie. The madness is full of talent. Beautiful.
So like sometimes when I'm doing this and you'll see a line look like it kind of goes astray somewhere, I don't care. I'll just let it sit and then pick it back up and turn it into something.
Right.
So doing rubble is like the most Bob Ross thing you can do in comics, I swear. And I'm intentionally going like super rough with this just cause, for the sake of speed. Now, like once I've got a bunch of stuff drawn in, I'll start coming back in and you'll see what happens when I start adding these hatch lines around. Like I'll pick one corner and add these to it. And so it starts to give the stuff more solidity. And then like, since the top of this should be getting more light than the bottom, down at the bottom, I'll start just doing long lines around it. And then you have those kind of taper off. Because every time you're drawing, you're creating shades of gray and you're doing it with lines. So, the more lines you have, the darker it is, obviously. The closer the lines are, the more of a gray you're creating. And then the more the lines cross, you get a darker image. So, like this is a time when I might come in with with my regular pen,
cool,
and start to solidify some of this a little bit. It's a smoother pen than that one, and so then that's gonna start really cleaning that up and solidifying what I've got there. Boy, it really threw me off when I had to restart the program. I don't know why I was doing that. Probably because this program has been sitting here running without a restart for like a week.
But possibly.
Because of the amount of work that I got to do. It's like, well, I guess it's finally demanding a restart. Then one of the things in one of my favorite little tools in Clip Studio is the way it's a paint bucket works. So I can just, let's turn off refer to multiple, and I'll drop that stuff in there. And here's a nifty little trick. If I'm doing traditional inks, I use spattering all over the place. I'll take toothbrushes or an airbrush or hell, sometimes even a rattle can of black paint and use it to get spits and sputters. And I have a brush in here that I've designed that does exactly that. Although it's a little more controlled. But if I go to a much larger brush tip, you can see the kind of stippling spatter that I get out of it. And then over here in my particle size, I can turn that up or down. And then we can also set that to where that's affected by the pen pressure, which I really like doing. So like here, where I'm barely touching it, you see there's barely any of that spatter going down. But if I push harder, it goes all the way up. And so then I can scrub and, all of a sudden you're getting like, could be stone effects, could be Jack Kirby style energy effects. I mean, like if I wanted to go full Jack Kirby with it for an energy effect, I'd crank that particle size up real large and let's make a big brush so that they really. And so you can see there where I'm lightly tapping, I get these little tiny ink blots. And then as I, push harder, do all that. Of course, you can adjust your sensitivity to get a, different, smoother gradient of that scaling effect. So let's see. I know that I tend to work with this. I don't know if it shows the window where I'm altering my pressure curve, but probably don't want that much of a curve to it. There we go. So, that's just a quick look there at how you can use some of these techniques to get all kinds of different stuff. But, going back to working with rubble, I'm going to take the particle size down on this, and I'm going to check it over here somewhere and see what that's going to give me at a heavier pressure. Okay. And then... So there, that shows me what I can get with that. Then I'm going to come in over here and just start to rough in some of this texture. And this would be a good place to add some of that in, like around these guys. Not really digging that, so. I'm going to set that pen pressure so that it's not completely off at the lowest. That way I can kind of work with it very lightly and still get something out of it. All right. Like I said, I really like doing spatters, even in my traditional stuff. I think it just adds a lot of, it's a really cost-effective way of adding a lot of perceived detail to something without having to spend a ton of time doing it.
Right.
Yeah. I've done it with Copics and stuff like that. It's a nice way to get a blend going too.
Oh yeah. So like there, those are starting to look quite rocky. And then I'll come back through, maybe add some cracks and stuff. And with the cracks, something that you can't really see on the screen is that when I draw those, my hand moves in these quick little tiny jerky movements. So it's like a start-stop. And that's allowing it to, it's funny because it's like normally you don't want jerky lines, but if you're doing something like this, then those jerky lines can be really useful to create cracks and all kinds of other little details. Let's go to a little bigger brush over here. Everything feels a little different because I just had to reset my pressure sensitivity. So I'm actually going in with it's a bigger brush setting than what I was using for things, but it feels pretty good after changing all that. So, and this particular brush that I'm using is the way that it works is like I can scrub back and forth with it and get, these kind of jaggy lines that actually work really well for doing shading. So yeah, that's a quick little method. Now I'm going to delete all of this. Doink and doink. And show you a couple of other ways inside Clip Studio that I like to do quick little roughs of a rubble. So let's do, got a new layer here. It's set to monochrome. I'm going to do an outline on it. So it's calls it border effect. And I'm going to turn that up to a size of about 8 because actually smaller than that, it actually doesn't come out big enough to really print very well at all. Now, with that in place, if I go back to my my little spatter brush and set it to white, you'll see like if I turn that border off, it doesn't look like it's doing anything because I'm just dropping white ink on the page. If I turn that border on, there you can see it. So then we might, and again, this is really great for effects. Like if you're doing something that has, energy effects or, cosmic spacey stuff, real handy. But you can also take a brush like this, which see if it's showing my brush settings. No, it doesn't. So I just opened a window for brush settings. And of course, it's not going to show that because it's being a turd. But in those brush settings, I can choose different tip shapes to go on that brush. So once you've got a spatter brush made, you can put sit and draw like 5 or 10 different little pieces of rock, and plug that into there. I'm going to try the screen share in a different way here real quick. I typically share to the program and not the entire window. So let's just do the entire screen. And let's see. Hey, babe.
Yeah.
Can you look at something for me on the stream? You got your phone on you? Well, if you I was going to see if you could tell me if this is showing. You guys let me know if this is showing my
Hold up.
No.
My brush settings window here.
Now it is.
You just saw a brush little thing pop up?
Yep.
Okay. So, yeah, this particular brush, I've got a bunch of different spatter brushes. This one's called Snow. I'm going to duplicate that. And let's call it Rocks. And I'm going to come back to that in just a minute. Let's come in here now with my rough pen and size of about 80. Let's just do a quick, nope, not you, not you. Let's get rid of you. Point, point. There we go. So, really? Okay. So then I'm just going to draw like this little rock sort of shape here. And one of the little things that I do when I'm drawing rocks a lot of times is I'll have, if you've ever looked at a topographical map, I will do these little kind of topographical lines that help define where it might be a jagged break in a rock. So there is one little couple of rocks. Now let's do a bigger one here. Now I'll just do another one over here. It's kind of an abstract sort of shape like that. And then I'll come in and pick a side and start defining where the breaks and things are in it. Let's do one more here. And this is also going to be a really interesting way to make new brushes for yourself. All right, I don't even need this one up here anymore. 1, 2, 3. Let's do a couple more. There's a nice little bitty one there. Another little bitty one. Let's do another big one. Okay. Now, I'm going, if I turn off my background here, you can see that this is just black and there's nothing filling in there. So next thing I want to do is fill these in. So I've selected around them and I'm going to hit Advanced Fill. And then it's going to fill all the empty pixels with white. Then I'm going to take my magic wand and select all of the stuff between those rocks and delete that. So now let's take a magic wand, and I have set up, I've customized the toolbar that comes up with selections on here so that I can have a lot of things here that I use all the time. I'll hit register material, which you can also normally go to edit, register material, and we'll register an image material. So I'm going to call this raw sample. Then I'm going to select all and copy that because we're going to use that name over and over. Label that number 1. Use for brush tip shape. Then I'm going to put this in a folder here that I have for my brush tips. Let's see, I have a folder called Rocks.
Let me interrupt you real quick. Levi, I just went to share your link.
Yeah.
Your link says it appears to be missing.
Appears to be missing.
When I click on it, it says 404, page not found. Appears to be missing.
Not
is
good.
Is that for the MailChimp thing?
Yeah. The sign up, right? The subscribe post.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got nothing.
Okay.
Okay, Les, you're good. I just wanted to let him know his link wouldn't work.
Oh, that's okay. You guys can talk for a minute. What I'm doing right now is literally just repeating the steps that I described there a second ago.
Okay.
So
Grab a rock, place a rock. Grab a rock, place a rock.
I'm grabbing each of these rocks and I'm putting registering them as materials. And I've got all kinds of folders from my materials saved in here. And see, I put the name, I copy it so I can paste it over and over and use it in different ways here. So that's number 3. Now then, kill that selection. We'll come in here and I'm going to register it. Number 4. And a lot of the work that I do in comics, I have to do extremely fast. So, not all my projects get traditional pages, which kind of sucks. But there's some of those projects that I end up doing a lot of my pages fully digital like this. And being able to make tools on the fly like this really speeds things up a lot.
Especially when you only got one hand to work with, huh?
Yeah. The one hand limitation also makes me lean into some of this stuff just a little bit more because I refuse to stop being prolific and efficient. So there's 4. Now kill that selection. And here's going to be number 5. So I just paste and then add the number after it. I do wish they would change it so this remembers your last navigated folder, because that some programs do that and it makes things go so much faster.
There you go. There's Levi's sign up, people. Galaxy Memorial Park. Go check it out. Go check it out.
Thank you.
Right.
All right. So now that I've got all those in there, I'm just going to delete all of that and pop back over here to where I was making this brush called Rocks. Then I'm going to open the settings window for that. Go to my brush tip and change that from circle to material. Click this little guy, and then I could come in here and look in my keywords, and there's probably rock in here somewhere. And here are the 5 that I just made. And I can click on one, then shift click and grab all of those. And so now all of those show up now in the tips for this. And if I want each of those to actually be 2, so that there's like so that it's alternating its direction, then I can come in here to flip horizontal and set that to random and flip vertical to random. So now it's going to be effectively, there's 5 of them there. So that's times 2 is 10. It's like having 20 of these in here right now because they're going to randomly change the angle that they shoot out of here from. So now the next big thing I need to do is raise the particle size so that these particles come in here. And let's go here. And now I can use this to spray all these rocks out here. Now, if I don't like the randomness of those, flipping their direction, I can come back in and change that. So let's come in here and let's set these back to off and see what it does. So there, I think I've got my angle. Let's see, there's particle direction. Yeah, if you watch, I don't know how well you can see it because it's small on my screen, so it's going to be small through the stream. You can change direction of particle. And you can see each of the particles tumbling around in the preview there. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to turn down the randomness for their direction and then set it so they follow the direction of the line.
That's way better. A lot more natural.
Yeah. And then as I'm drawing this in here, you know, the pressure sensitivity is also altering the size that these shoot out at. So you very effectively get the ability to vary that a lot. So like if I come in here, I'll start very light. Let's put just a light line of them in across here like that. And then start going a little bit heavier with it.
Man, Clip Studio is such a great tool.
Mm-hmm.
It took you like 10 minutes maybe to set all that up. You saved yourself, gosh, at least 20 minutes, at least 20, 30, 40 minutes worth of work.
Oh,
you know?
easily.
Yeah.
And then you've got that tool that you can use over and over. Now, you got to watch about the repetitiveness of it. And that's why, like, if I'm using it in production, I'm not going to draw repeated straight lines with it unless I want consistency.
Right.
I'll come in and you know, kind of vary it a little bit here and there. And that's where you can introduce like some randomness to it as well. So like we do a little bit of randomness on my line right there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's do particle size. Let's turn that randomness to about half. And then turn the particle density down. So there's all kinds of ways that you can play with this and use it to really bust out a lot to fill in a you know, a scene. Let's turn that back off. This particular palette right here, your tool properties, I think you should probably end up spending a lot of time in there if you're working in Clip Studio. Because being able to alter those tools on the fly is really how you're going to get the most out of the program. Now, let's turn down the gap. That's the other thing, too, is like, you know, I can, with this gap feature right here, you know, if I just want to spatter a few here and there, you got that. Or I can watch my little thumbnail up here and see how they pile up together. And then let's turn up that minimum pressure on there. And anyway, you start to see, you know, all kinds of goofy stuff comes out there. And since this stuff has the ability to end up making lines that are smaller than you would ever print, something I like to do, I don't always do this, but say I've got a big bunch of stuff drawn in here like this, and oh, that's kind of cool. That right there reminds me of kind of some George Perez stuff from the old the Teen Titans, the Tales of the New Teen Titans, which I loved. The whole big Trigon story was one of my favorites. Yeah, I'm really digging the way that works. So, and then that's another thing is when you play with this stuff, you'll end up finding ways that it tends to work that it will just be cool and useful. So let's get rid of that. Then here's another quick little trick that I like. I'll use this. It's in the figure tools. It's the lasso fill. And use lasso fill set to transparent. And it's like being able to lasso and delete right there. I like that. Of course, I'm going to cover another technique for doing this stuff here in a minute where I use that as a fill. But to finish out what I was talking about here, sometimes I'll say I've got a bunch of stuff like this.
This information for them.
I will hit my convert brightness to opacity. So now all that white is gone, and anything too small to print, I've got my garbage cleaner set up where I can drag over it, and you should see how a bunch of stuff goes away. So now I'm only left with the marks that are really big enough to print. That's a really damn handy little trick right there. Then once I've got something like that, I'll probably grab my rough pen and then kind of trace back around the outside of it just to make a hold line for it. And that rough pen just plays well into, you know, all of those kind of randomized shapes that are drawn in there. So, and then we add some little, go in, maybe do some little shading and stuff here and there that kind of reinforces what we've done. Pick some stuff and build from it.
Oh, fuck, that hurt.
How you doing, Pop?
See how then we start adding some hatching and stuff on there that, you know, starts to build up the idea of where this stuff's coming from. So you could go nuts with this and just do all kinds of craziness with it, which I kind of do a lot. Let's see here. And then it's also good to go in and do this to randomize things a little bit more. Another thing that I would do in this case to really build more form and solidity in these, because it's a lot of lines here, and that's fine, but I want some shadows. I want things to have some shadows and a little more heaviness to it. So from there, I'll take my paint bucket, and let's set it to level 4 on closing gap, and then I'm going to pick an open area here and just drag a stroke. And then if I just put my pen down and start to scrub, you'll see how it will fill these things in. And that ends up looking like, you know, little shadows and crevices and, you know, places between the rocks. So then just by adding that kind of darkness in some areas, we end up being able to define very quickly these different surface areas. So it makes it all pop apart quite a bit. I like that.
Very cool.
If I turn that closed gap all the way up, then it's going to fit. It's going to stop itself at smaller little areas. Oh, I think I accidentally let my stroke fall on over in here, which I don't want to do. You don't want to click out in here because it will fill all of that. But like, there we go. And see, just doing that right there, let this kind of arch come up and start to peel away from everything else a bit. Whew. There we go. Been waiting for that. All right. Then I'm going to go in through here, maybe start to pick out some more specific little areas to darken in. You see how much form that starts to add? Oops, don't be there. This is a very addictive way of doing this stuff too, because it's just so fast. And once I've got plenty of stuff kind of defined there, let's do a few more here. Then I'll grab that rough brush and come back in maybe in a few places with a larger version of that and just add some big hash marks across. That helps kind of build that up. Or we can do my, I can switch back off to my particles. And let's go in here now and fill this stuff. This is a neat little trick. So I'm going to select all of this, hit advanced fill, and tell it to fill the transparent stuff with white. Then I'll get my magic wand and select all of this that's outside of the shape that I just made and delete it. Okay. Then if I hold Control and click on the thumbnail for the layer, it'll make a selection out of that. And then I can click here to make a mask. And it doesn't look like anything's happened, but what that'll allow me to do now, say I grab my spatter brush, come back to the layer, I can spatter all along that without getting it anywhere else in the image.
Cool. That saves a lot of masking.
So, and then I can use that spatter effect again to add complexity and depth to all these different shapes. A lot of these little tricks that I use are things that I picked up from working in animation and working in 3D animation specifically, where I was doing a lot of technical direction and working with concept artists or actually doing concept art for things. And just as I came back to comics, I found where I could adapt a lot of this kind of stuff and, you know, really be productive with it. I like that. So let's throw a layer in behind here and I'll show you this other method. Okay. And let's do the border effect, and we'll set that to black and set it to about 8. Now I'm going to take this lasso fill and start with black. And you see I'm just drawing these kind of jaggy sort of shapes in here. Okay. And this is pretty random what's happening here. But now when I come back in and I draw a white shape in here and I have that border effect turned on, you know, this could be the surfaces of large rocks further out there.
I'm gonna take a quick look at that what Les is doing or what Levi's doing real quick.
Go ahead.
He's down there on the floor. He's down there on the floor. Look at that. Dude standing in a puddle. That's looking, dude. Levi, you're a boss, bro.
Thank you.
Don't let nobody tell you you ain't.
Hear that? Hopefully my wife is still listening. I am the boss. I am the boss, Heidi. Pop said so. Tonight you will be cooking me dinner.
Oh, is that a divorce lawyer I hear coming up in the distance?
I wasn't trying to start something, Heidi. Wasn't me.
Yeah. He's all like, dude, that's the only reason I keep you around.
Let's turn that outline down just a little bit right there. And then after I've got kind of a shape roughed in, I'll rasterize that so it commits that outline to the layer. And since I was doing it all with fills, now if I control click that, I'm going to get a selection of just that shape. I'll make a mask of it. And then from there, I can start coming in with this rough pen again. And I'll look at this outline and be like, okay, let's come in here and throw some of this in.
Oh, I just took me a quick look at the new Madness website that's being built right now.
Cool.
Oh, it's looking good. Like the Meg.tv, yo. It's looking good.
Nice.
Got the schedule up, got a few of the people's bio stuff up and ready. Yeah, it's looking good. Deepak, you're doing great. I love it.
Very cool.
I really enjoy doing this.
Every show is listed on the weekly schedule with a link. Takes you to the show description, where it's played at, everything.
Nice.
Stuff. Yeah, I'm kind of jacked. Things are looking good. Moving forward. That's the way it's supposed to be. You want to take a quick peek?
Yeah, let's see it.
I'll put the link over here for you if you want to take a quick peek at it. The Meg.tv. It's that simple. The Meg. The Madness Entertainment Group. The Meg.tv. Monday Madness with Pops and Levi. Comic Artist Hour with Les Garner and Charles Masson. Yes, see, it's all there, guys. Been awesome.
They call him the moist one.
Yeah, we know.
the moist one.
You guys, boyfriend, girlfriend talk is between you, okay?
This is
He's,
cool.
Also known as Chucklefuck.
Yes, this looks really good. The show off, Silverline Sunday with Roland's crew, random stuff from John's Long Box, fourth wall interviews. It's all up here, guys. It looks good.
Very nice. Looks great. He did a great job.
She.
Sorry.
That's,
Sorry.
Kaz's granddaughter, Deepak Shakur, is building our website.
Very cool.
Deepak Shakur, not Tupac. Deepak. She's very talented. I really like what she's doing with it. So, yeah. Told you there were so many things that I couldn't do until this thing became an actual legit business.
Oh, that's cool though.
But now it's all falling into place, right? I mean, it's just the things you can't do when you're not legal really curtail you when you're trying to do something this big with this many people involved.
Oh, yeah.
You know, got to be legal. So we went over that speed bump, and now moving forward. So now's the time to get on board, people. If you got a show you want to bring to the network, let us know now while we're designing the website so that you're in ground floor, your stuff looks good, and it doesn't look like we pasted it in later.
Now, as I sit here using this pen, it reminds me, I think one of the things I like about it is that some of the kind of lines that this pen just naturally creates remind me of either Klaus Janson or Howard Chaykin from back in the day.
Nice.
And a little bit of, oh God, not Simon, although it does remind me a little bit of Simon Bisley. Damn it, there was another dude who did a lot of stuff kind of along Simon, and I always got them mixed up. Crap.
Did he work on Turtles?
Huh?
Did he work on Turtles?
I don't think he worked on Turtles. I know he worked on like Batman, and he did a lot of stuff with Alan Grant. I think he did some Legion of Superheroes and some, might have been one of the other guys doing some early Lobo stuff.
Oh, are you talking about like oh my goodness, the guy that did Trencher? Yeah. Okay, he actually changed up his style. His old school style was way more traditional. Who was that? He did the layouts, like you said, for Legion of Superhero. Giffen.
Yeah, Keith Giffen.
Keith Giffen.
Yeah, I always loved his stuff.
Yep.
And he always struck me like him and Simon Bisley were just kind of in the same pocket together, at least the stuff that I liked from them.
Yeah.
It was kind of rough, but I don't know, something about that roughness, it just always felt violent to me.
Right.
And I like that, because I just like that kind of stuff.
It looked like they attacked the page.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're just hitting that stuff like it owes them money, which back then, being DC, it probably did.
Yeah, I don't think I discovered Keith Giffen on Trencher, but it was definitely in his later years. It was the Justice League International or Europe or whatever the heck they were calling it, the rebooted series. He did a little bit of that, and by the time I found his older work, I was completely surprised it was even him.
Oh yeah, his older stuff was super clean, and that was a thing back then. Is you had to, he had a clean kind of, I'm going to say late 70s, early 80s house style from DC.
Yeah. Yep.
And that was the thing, is you had to have the house style or they wouldn't hire you.
Yeah.
So I eventually got rid of, applied the mask so that I could come back in here now and use that rough pen to add little stuff kind of around this, just to blend it all together a little better. I don't like that little bit though. And then we'll just add little shapes off of it. This stuff is so much fun. I really do enjoy doing kind of crazy sorts of environments and things like this. Doing this sort of thing makes me want to draw like Conan or something,
I was thinking it looked like a start to a Warlord of Mars.
Yeah. Oh, I love John Carter.
Matthew, that number 5 was me, bro. Just so you know.
But that makes sense, though, how I started out building this with just big shapes from the that fill brush or the fill lasso tool.
Yeah. I like how you I'd call it a reverse cut with the black and then bringing in the whites on top of it. Yeah, that was cool.
I think I got turned on to that stuff in high school by my my high school art teacher, Carol Osborne. She introduced me to scratch paper. This black paper. It's got like black stuff printed on it. And you would take a sharp tool and draw into that and basically draw with white against black. And I have loved doing that. I've found so many different times and ways to do that.
Sounds a lot better than my high school art teacher. Basically, he would hand out check marks for the day. If you didn't throw spit wads or crinkle something up and throw it around the room, you got a check mark. And at the end of the semester, he basically gave everybody A's or F's. Didn't matter what you did in there.
That's terrible.
Yeah, he was known more for sneaking out to the parking lot to his car on breaks than he was for actually teaching art.
I like doing this, throwing these little tick marks and things in there, like there's dust and dirt falling from the surface.
Was he out there smoking weed? What was he doing in his car? I want to know.
Yeah, he looked awful tired all the time. and the bad part is he taught driver's ed as well.
Oh, fuck.
He probably had to do that just to sit in the car with those kids.
Yep.
Yeah, no, my junior high art teacher, she was the best. She actually taught class.
Look, I have theories about teaching kids to drive, and they have nothing to do with cars in school. Okay? You take the kid out on the golf course, and you let him drive your golf cart. The kid's going to learn to control a vehicle. He's going to know how to stop, how to start, how to turn, where to turn. He's going to learn all that shit when he's 5 years old.
Just get him out on a farm on a tractor, man.
Tractors don't move. Golf carts move. You got to learn to really drive something.
That's fair.
Learn to really drive something that you have to control, that there's a brake. You have to be able to stop it, to turn it. You know what I mean? And look, all of our kids know how to drive a golf cart. And when it comes time to put them on the street, I'm not going to be worried about it because they already know how to control a vehicle that's much larger than they are. Plain simple. You know, you got to get rid of that fear. And that's how you do it. What are they going to run into on a golf course but a tree? Maybe. There's a whole lot of room on a golf course for a kid to drive and learn to control a vehicle. I learned to drive a stick with a Cushman cart when I used to mow around the trees on a golf course. That's how I learned how to drive a stick, because the Cushman cart had a 3 on the tree. I was like 14. I was out there mowing around the trees on the golf course, and I drove that thing all over the place. You know, but I didn't know how to drive a stick the first time they put me in it. I had to teach myself how to. I mean, I knew the concept, so pushing the clutch, but I had to teach myself how to, you know, let the clutch out the right speed, all that shit. There was nobody there to teach me. I wouldn't get this job if I didn't get this cart out on the course, right? So I had to teach myself right there that day. And the next day I came to work, I was fine. I was getting that thing go, you know.
I got my dad taught me when I was 12 in a CJ5 Jeep with the granny gear for first. That thing was a pop the clutch and 5 miles an hour just screaming. But he did it. I ended up at 12. I was power washing 18-wheelers for Matlack Trucking, so I had to learn how to drive the vehicles around the lot and park them on the pad, and then repark them.
Good stuff. See, there's look. You get the kids out there and you get them involved. That's how you do it. But there's no way I would take high school kids who've never been in a car and teach them. There's no way, who's never driven anything. There's no way I would want any part of having to do that at 16. I would teach them at 5 in a golf cart. You know, it's like by the time they're 16, I don't even got to worry about it. I'm comfortable riding with them. You know,
that's funny, dude.
Before they ever get that license, I will be plenty comfortable with riding around in them with them driving a vehicle. You know. But take some kid who's never driven a car before and have to teach them at high school? Les, you've gone 90 minutes, bro. You just having happy rocks.
Yeah, happy rocks, happy little rocks.
All that rubble.
Rubble. Yep. So anyway,
Look at that. That whole floor now looks complete.
it's a lot of fun doing stuff like that.
Yeah,
Just
fun watching.
Just doing something kind of weirdly abstract, that could become something like I could totally see turning this into a drawing of something. I mean, you could have, and scale is a factor. So like, as soon as you have something like this, if I, there we go. Now that's running on off here. As soon as you have something like this, if you're just playing around, then you can start to look at it and come up with things that it could be. So, if you were to throw a little figure up there.
Yeah, now you've set the scale for how big it is.
Yep. As soon as you put a character in there anywhere, you've set the scale. And
he needs to be sword fighting with one of those Mars aliens.
Oh yeah. Or since I'm always doing Lovecraft stuff, come in here. So you got your scale set for that little guy, and then we can come in there and do something like, come here, come on, where you at? Just kind of rough something crazy in here.
Yeah, there you go. A Cthulhu with like he's got to get up on the rocks to talk to it.
Yeah. That's kind of fun. I have got to get this adjusted back correctly. Let's see what the default feels like on here. That is not quite right. Almost. It's really annoying me. Those settings are being janky like that. There we go. Because I don't like to have to press real hard on here.
Right.
I like being able to have a really light touch. Let's see what that feels like. No, wrong way. Wrong way, Nimrod.
He said, no.
That might. Oh, and it helped when I come out here and check if I actually had a color instead of transparent. That was retarded. Oh, yeah. Now that's aggravating the crap out of me even more. Let's reset that back to default and check it. And then... yeah, that is just irritating the snot out of me that this thing did that. I think that might have got it. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Is that about right? Let's see how that feels with a pen. Still a little janky. Cancel that. Oh, there we go. That's nice and smooth. Yeah, every once in a while, this crap happens. I love drawing Cthulhu and Cthulhuid type stuff.
Hey, I did some inking work for a magazine. It was we got interviewed. What was it? It was HP Lovecraft magazine. Then it switched over to being Aeon, AEON, Aeon magazine.
Gotcha.
Their first issue had Cthulhu on the cover of it. We were doing they had lobby cards offered on the inside of them, so we were doing the art for the lobby cards.
Very nice, very nice.
There we go. I can pop that back out there. Trying to figure out how you change what's at the center of the stage, Pops. How you do that?
Say what?
Like on the stream, how do I change what's at the center? What's big over there in this layout?
I mean, there's different ways you can lay it out. You can make it. You see what I'm saying? Across the bottom, you got those.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not sure which one you're looking for, so I don't know how to.
Well, like see how like I just changed it, and now my there we go, back to that one, and my screen is the one dominating. How do you switch out so a different screen is in that space?
Okay, you just pull yours out. Oh, well, there isn't there right now. There's no way to put a different screen in that space without sharing a different screen to put there. You see?
Like if I wanted to swap where my drawing's at there with his.
Oh, well, see, then I just pull him up as full screen layout. I just pull that one up.
Okay.
See, there's no way to really, because his is coming in as an actual feed. Yours is coming in as a share stream. You see what I'm saying?
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm
He's
still
like
learning.
Extra camera. He's got extra camera working. You have your computer working as an extra. So it's two different. They haven't figured out how to give us that double layout yet, like that. But Planet Lovecraft. There you go.
Cool. Well, guys, I've gone wildly over my usual time. So that's what happens when I get to doing something like this. I'll start doing the scribbles and go nuts with it.
That's our job.
You know, that's a lot of the stuff that I talked about there is, you know, kind of built out of my whole thing about studying primarily Bernie Wrightson.
Right.
So there's a massive amount of Bernie in my stuff.
What do you think of the Bogle brothers?
Who?
Tim and who? The Bogles.
Vogel. Okay, yeah. Some good stuff. I mean, I never really followed them real close, but you know, it's good stuff.
Sinbuck. Go check out Sinbuck. I think you'll like the art in that.
We'll have to do that.
It's yeah, good stuff. Oh, damn, Levi, can't hear you because I pulled your other screen down. What'd you say?
Are you talking about Tim and Joe Vigil?
Tim and Joe Vigil. Yeah, not Bo Vigil.
Oh, Vigil.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's somebody out there named Fogel who from the 70s who I thought you were talking about. No, I'm very familiar with Tim Vigil.
Yeah,
Very.
Yeah.
Sinbuck, and yeah, I love that shit, man. I got all that shit.
Tim Vigil caused me to fail commercial art in high school.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yep. Well, if you walked into the teacher's name was Carlos Vigil. I got all excited. I had several issues of Faust already, and I asked him if he was related. He said no, but he would love to see the guy's work.
Damn, you guys.
So you showed him, and all of a sudden,
Yep.
woo,
Yep.
boy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
dude,
Faust is a little something to spring on somebody.
Yeah.
Well, he came up with this thing where he goes, he says, if you were to eat the best thing you've ever eaten in your entire life, say it was filet mignon with a sliver of shit, would you still eat it? And I went, yes. And he says, no, it has shit in it. And I said, no, you just said it's the best thing I'm ever going to eat in my entire life. And he goes, no, it's filet mignon with a sliver of shit. So we ended up in a huge argument. I got sent down to the office. Years later, when I met Tim Vigil to get his autograph, I told him the story. Yeah. Yeah. He's like, thank you for sticking up for art. You know, the guy was obviously wrong. You know.
There's a book coming up that I'm not really at liberty to talk a whole lot about right now that will have a cover that is one of the few times that I'm not inking myself, and it's because it's actually going to be inked by Tim Vigil.
Oh, very nice.
So
definitely got to get him out on the show sometime, bro, so I can talk to him.
That would be cool.
I've talked to Joe. I don't think I've ever talked to Tim. I'd love to talk to Tim. You know.
Yeah. He's a wild dude, man. It's fun stuff.
Well, I mean, just listening to stories that Joe told when we had Joe on the show makes me want to talk to Tim.
Well, you guys, I need to hop off here and get me some lunch and check on my lady, see how she's doing.
Yeah.
So, we're way past my normal time, so I'm just going to say peace out, y'all.
All right. Thanks
and,
for having me on.
Levi, it's good meeting you, man.
You too. Thanks for having me on.
Sure.
You guys all have a great day. We're going to play a few ads out of here. Levi, do me one favor and put your short clip in this studio, please.
Yeah.
I only got the long one.
Okay.
All right, y'all. See you
Peace,
next
everybody.
week.
Later, man.
Little president in his sandbox play, build a tower, make it stay. Digging deep through the golden sand, building the future with your hands. Tiny suits and shiny shoes, making plans and making news. Friends all gather to join along, in the sandbox they all belong. Little president from that play, every day a brand new day. Learning, growing your own way, in the great big sandbox that is the USA. The USA. Share your dreams with everyone, sandbox fun under the sun. Big ideas taking flight, with little Trump everything's bright. Dig a moat, build a wall, in the sandbox he stands so tall. Dreamer dream, builder build, little Trump your heart's fulfilled. Little President Trump that play, every day a brand new day. Learning, growing your own way, in the great big sandbox that is the USA. Hooray, hooray, for the USA. when a series of shipping disasters points to a mysterious sea monster. Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson leave the comfort of Baker Street and board a freighter where they encounter unexpected betrayal and come face to face with the enigmatic Captain Nemo and his submarine, the Nautilus. As they delve deeper into the case, they uncover a conspiracy involving a Russian Tsar with an airship that rains destruction on unsuspecting cities. With time running out and the world on the brink of war, the heroes must use all their skills and resources to stop a massive conspiracy and prevent global conflict. From Eisner-winning writer Mike Baron and illustrator Richard Bonk, dive into the depths of adventure and unravel the mysteries of the sea with the world's greatest detective in Leviathan. Order now at baroncomics.com.
dragon's flight. A psychic sword cuts through the night. A fiery heart standing ready to fight. Southern nights, they rise and soar. God in the south, yeah, they're ready to roar. From the shadows to the shining lights, that they'll protect you day and night. Southern nights.
In the heart of a major city, in a place raised to honor Earth's past protectors, the world will again learn, sometimes, superpowered intrigue doesn't stop at the grave. Galaxy Memorial Park, Volume 1, beginning crowdfunding Memorial Day 2025.
How do you end this thing? How do you put the where's the brakes on this bus? I forgot.
Jazz
how to drive.
hands. Jazz hands.
Have a good night.